Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School without the BS.
We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
Yes, 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 and yes. Thrive Nation, I have a new button here. This button was given to me from Clint Howard gave me this button with Tulsa Fitness Systems. Ooh. And this incredible sound effect. Check it out, Jason. I just hit the button, and I just keep winning.
Oh, nice.
If I'm having a bad day, if I'm feeling bad, my allergies are kind of getting me this morning, I wake up, what do? I say, right there, all of a sudden I'm winning.
That's a lot nicer than John's no button that just says no 50 different ways.
That's funny. He has a button that says no. That is too true. Okay, does he really have a button that says no?
He does. Have you not seen it?
No, but this is great. That's the button that I would think he would have. Now on today's show, we have two winners on the show. Two people who are doing very well. One as an owner of a company, and one as an employee of a company. So that's kind of fun. So we're going to start off with the owner of a company, Ryan with TipTopK9. Ryan, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. How are you, sir?
I'm excited to have you on the show because you've been growing TipTopK9 for over a decade. How many years have you been running TipTopK9?
11 years.
11 years.
Yep.
And you and I teamed up, I want to say about 3 years ago?
I think about 3.5, yeah.
3.5 years ago. And you already knew how to train dogs, had a lot of great systems in place, and all we wanted to do was just scale it out into other states and cities and make it available so that other people who are not you can open up a TipTopK9. And you have some wins going on right now at Tip Top.
Yeah.
Tell us about the franchisees in the Southlake, Texas.
Yes. Our guy in Southlake, Texas right now, he just texted me. He's like, hey, man, I am overrun with dogs. I still have a ton of sales appointments. I have 24 dogs right now. We're on a wait list. And those dogs are all boot camp dogs where we take them and fully train them and then give them back. And those all run $2,000 to $4,000 a pop. So that's a big win for him.
So you're saying he sells dog training services.
Yep.
And he has 24 customers who've reached out to him. And how much is the first lesson? If somebody's listening here in the Tulsa area and they want to see if TipTopK9 is the right dog training for them, how much is the first lesson?
The first lesson is $1.
$1.
Yep.
So he had leads reach out to him.
Correct.
And then your call center calls them, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
they answer the phone or they call them.
So somebody's down there in Southlake, Texas, and they Google search Southlake dog training.
Yep.
They fill out the form or they call your call center.
Mm-hmm.
Your call center books an appointment for them.
Yes.
And then he has to wow them. Wow,
yes.
the first time.
He goes out and he works with their dog. He shows off his dog like in the middle of the street. And then he works with their dog, shows them results in like 10, 15 minutes.
So he says, this is what your dog could do.
Correct.
If it goes through this boot camp training.
Yep.
And you're saying 24 customers this week or this month? Or
this month.
This month have said, yes, I want you to train my dog.
Yep.
And they're paying how much per boot camp?
Anywhere $2,200 to $4,000.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is he doing...
we do some bad dogs, man. These dogs are like eating the couch, peeing everywhere.
What?
They're jumping on the baby, knocking kids over, like biting people, all types of random stuff, man. And they're just ruining people's lives. So we want to help them be good citizens so they don't get rid of their dogs, and they actually enjoy them.
So let's talk about this. So in a given week, does Adam and Kat, do they do more, the owners of the Southlake Tip Top, do they do more than $5,000 a week of sales?
Yes.
More than $6,000?
Yes, they do.
How much sales can they do? I mean, maybe what's the most they've done in a week so far that you've seen?
Well, currently the only numbers I'm able to actually share are I know. They have to be in our franchise disclosure document. It's a federally regulated document.
There it is.
So the last month that we have on record on file is June 2019.
Yeah.
And that was $43,800. That was only after a year.
Wow.
Of being open.
Wow.
So as far as dog training goes, that's a good amount of dog training.
Now, if somebody out there is listening right now and they're saying, I want to buy a TipTopK9 franchise, they can reach out to you, or they can go to tiptopk9.com.
Yes.
And then you and I can talk to them. And then in that packet, there is a franchise disclosure document and in that document, which is regulated by the federal government, we can then disclose to them only those numbers.
Correct. Yeah, we can only disclose the numbers in the document. That's it.
And if you are somebody out there listening and you would like to call the owners of TipTopK9 who own the TipTopK9 in Southlake, you can do that, and then they can share with you whatever they want to share with you.
Absolutely.
But we can't. We want to. We almost did, but we can't. We want to. Oh, yeah. So, again, is there any other big wins at TipTopK9 right now? Any other locations doing well?
Yeah, our Oklahoma City location, they are on a big wait list as well.
Oh, beautiful.
That's
Seth.
hiring multiple people at a time.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Now, Seth, was Seth a former employee of yours?
Yes, he was. He was actually our training manager here in Tulsa.
So he worked for you.
Yes.
Worked with you and thought, you know what, I want to open up my own location.
Correct.
I think that says a lot about the brand and the belief in the system.
We have multiple people that have either been past clients and then wanted to open one, or multiple trainers. Rob, one of my guys who was with me for 7 years here in Tulsa, he just opened one in Michigan.
In Troy, Michigan.
Yeah, in Troy, Michigan.
So, again, the people who worked for you as employees believe in the brand enough, they want to open up their own location.
Oh, absolutely.
And then Adam and Kat, Kat used to be a graphic designer for me, and Adam was a mortgage guy, and he decided to switch up his career and to get into dog training. And so that's just two examples.
They were actually past clients, too.
They're past clients, too?
Yeah, they were past clients.
Okay, so if you want to learn more about opening up your own TipTopK9 franchise, you can do so by going to tiptopk9.com. That's tiptopk9.com. And what does it cost if I want to buy a franchise? How much money is it going to cost me to open up a TipTopK9 franchise?
Yeah, the initial franchise fee is $43,000, and that includes
$43,000.
Yes.
Okay.
So about the price of a nice truck.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice. So for the price, Jason, of a vehicle, you could buy potentially a time freedom and financially freedom creating vehicle. Yeah. You could buy a business model that works for less than $50,000. That's awesome. You said $43,000.
$43,000.
So for the price of a truck, I could potentially buy like 50 more trucks.
Exactly.
That's a good investment.
That's a beautiful thing. So again, if you're interested, I can tell you right now, because if you go to tiptopk9.com, you can click and see what territories are already taken. But right now, if you want to open up one and you live in Owasso, Oklahoma, you can't do it.
No.
If you want to open up one in Tulsa, can't do it.
Negative.
Oklahoma City, can't do it.
Right.
We're working down the highway. You can't do it in McKinney, Texas. You can't do it in Plano, Texas.
Right.
You can't do it in Southlake, Texas.
Right.
You can't do it in Boise, Idaho. Am I correct?
Correct.
Can't open up one in where in Arkansas? The whole state?
Fort Smith. Yeah, the whole state. Fort Smith and Fayetteville. The whole state of Arkansas is basically off right now.
Can't open up one there.
Right.
Can't open up one in Troy, Michigan.
Correct.
You can't open up a TipTopK9 in
Gilbert, Arizona.
Gilbert, Arizona. You can't open up one in Utah. Where in Utah can we?
West Jordan, Utah.
West Jordan, Utah. You can't open up a TipTopK9 there. But if you are living in a city that is not one of those cities, go to tiptopk9.com. That's tiptopk9.com. Fill out the form and learn more about how you can be the proud owner of a TipTopK9 franchise. Ryan, what kind of person should not reach out to you about a TipTopK9 franchise? I mean, what kind of person would you say, hey, buddy, do yourself a favor. I know you love the Thrive Time show, and we love you, but don't reach out to us. It's not going to go well. What kind of person should not reach out?
If you do not love dogs, and I mean like love dogs, not like if you're like I kind of like dogs, do not call, do not come out for a shadow day. Like we've had multiple people come out and they're like, man, I hear it's good money, and it is, but it is hard work, and you must like dogs. If you do not like dogs, we will not even finish the shadow day.
So every time was that Jason?
I was gonna say if you're a cat person, just don't fill out that form.
Don't go to the website.
Every time I fill out the form, I hear this sound. And they blocked me. I showed up for my initial training. I wanted to learn more about buying a franchise. I showed up with my cat on a leash, and I said, let's do this thing. And they kicked me out of there. But no, seriously, if you want to buy a TipTopK9 franchise, go to tiptopk9.com, fill out the form. Ryan, what kind of person should reach out to you? What kind of person would enjoy owning a TipTopK9 franchise? What kind of person is this absolutely an ideal fit for?
Yeah, if you love dogs and you're a hard worker, you're a diligent person, you like following systems, you're just like, hey, I just don't know how to do it, that would be a good fit.
And now, without any further ado, we'd like to end each and every show with a mega boom. Big wins at TipTopK9. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. Thank you for calling the Thrive Time Show. This is Clavis. How can I help you? Oh, I know how I can help you. You are listening to the podcast, so I should probably teach you something. All right, here's the deal. At the Elephant in the Room, our men's grooming lounge chain, or at OxyFresh, the carpet cleaning franchise that is owned by my partner and friend, Jonathan Barnett, or any of the businesses that I'm involved in or own or I'm a partner with, we record our calls. Now, I thought a great way to explain why we record our calls would be to have Daisy, the flower of the phones, the call center manager, hop on the show. And Daisy, could you explain why we record our calls at the Elephant in the Room?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it's a great tool for accountability and holding your employees responsible for sticking to a script. And it's a great way to catch any weirdness that might result as a product of not sticking to that script.
Now, we have great customers and great employees, okay? But how often per week, because we have about 4,000 customers that you manage there, how often per week does somebody who's a customer call in and say that they said something that they didn't actually say?
Oh, gosh, at least 5 times a day.
Okay, so 5 times a day, a customer will call in and say that they said something that they didn't say.
Oh, yeah.
And how often do you catch an employee saying they said something that they didn't say?
Probably 6 times a day.
All right. So the reality is you want to know what your people are actually doing. Andrew Carnegie, the world's wealthiest man during his lifetime, who grew up poor and started working at the age of 13, he once wrote, he says, "As I get older, I pay less attention to what men say. I just watch what they do." Well, how are you going to know what your people are doing if you can't hear the calls? If you were a basketball coach, how could you coach the team if you weren't at the game and didn't watch the game? I mean, how could you help your football team get better if you didn't watch the game or at least watch the video of your team at the game? How could you just look at the scoreboard and say, well, guys, we're losing, so we should probably run a new play? No, you've got to actually watch the game. You've got to listen to your calls. Andy Grove, write that name down. Andy Grove, the CEO, the former co-founder of Intel, the microchip people, he says, only the paranoid survive. Only the paranoid survive. Why? Well, Clay, you're not being positive. Well, President Ronald Reagan, okay, Reaganomics, okay. He said, the 40th president of the United States, he said, what did he say? He said, trust but verify. That's huge. So I decided, let's bring Tim on the show. Tim actually works in the call center. He's a great guy. Tim, can you share with the listeners out there, what were you doing before you joined the Elephant in the Room team?
I worked at Reese's Pharmacy.
You worked there, and you knew, I believe, Jonathan Kelly, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Jonathan Kelly, who's the manager of all things in the office, was a buddy of yours from your time at Reese's, I believe. And John told me that you'd be a great fit for the team. How did you hear about the job up here?
Jonathan asked me to come in and check it out, and it was actually like a surprise interview for me because
nice.
I had no idea what was going on, and
we didn't let you leave without taking the job.
yeah, and Jonathan was like, "Yeah, I'll take a half day," and I showed up, and he was like, "All right, so I'm gonna head out, and you're gonna follow Clay around," and I was like, "Doesn't Clay own the company?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're just gonna follow him around."
An ambush job recruitment there. Now, your calls are recorded, and could you share with the listeners how having your calls recorded and being able to hear your own calls has been able to impact you or help you improve?
Oh yeah, it's made a world of difference. When I got here, I was honestly horrendous, which is terrifying because I've been talking to people on the phone for 6 years now for work. So
yeah.
If that's been a constant, I've never listened to my calls until I started here, and I've never had any feedback on it. So
you don't even know if you're doing a good job or a bad job.
No, it's
and you do a really good job now. Could you maybe explain how you've improved? Because I feel like you've made huge improvements. I know you have. But I'd like to hear from your perspective, and I know the listeners would too. How have you been able to improve as a result of hearing your calls?
Oh, it's made a world of difference because we have all the recorded calls. We have plenty of information to go off there, and we'll have the group meetings once a week. and listen to the calls and hearing my own and mistakes others have made. You know, it's something that I can constantly have in the back of my mind while I'm on the phone about what needs to be done, what shouldn't be done. And it's just, you know, it makes all the difference.
Now, Daisy, what I thought we would do is I thought we would queue up at our expense the worst calls ever.
Oh, no.
Where we're going to queue up, but we won't play a customer's name over the air.
Okay.
And we won't play an employee's name over the air, but we are going to play audio. And I will say this, Tim, you've gotten better. Your energy is better on the phone. Your pacing is better. It sounds great, but it's more marked improvement. How long did it take you to get good at your job, you think, with the calls? Because you do a great job now.
I didn't save the date, but as soon as I got over being so nervous about it, and
30 days, 60 days?
Yeah, less than a month, I would say.
Less than a month. And I will just tell you, if you're out there listening today, what you don't know will absolutely kill you. You see, when you assume it makes a boop out of you and me, when you assume it makes a boop out of you and me, what's that word? What's that sound? When you assume it makes a out of you and me. So Daisy's going to queue up a terrible, not so good, very bad, terrible call. And we're going to break down what's wrong with the call. And you can understand why if you don't record your calls, you're going to lose. If you're a pastor of a church and you don't watch your own praise and worship service and sermons, you will lose. If you are a pastor and you don't watch the youth pastor preach, you will lose. And if you're a football coach and you don't watch the game film, you will lose. And if you're a call center manager and the flower of the phones and you don't record your calls, you will lose. You cannot win if you don't know what's happening. What's happening? What's happening is bad things, terrible things. According to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, 75% of American employees steal from the workplace, and that includes time. Employees sitting around, not answering the phone. Daisy, we have video cameras installed.
Yeah.
Why?
So that we can hold people accountable and make sure they're not doing weird stuff and stealing things.
And one might say, well, Clay, what phone system do you use to record the calls? I use Clarity Voice. CLARITY, Clarity Voice. And you might say, why do you use Clarity Voice? Do they pay you to say that? Well, here's the deal. No, they don't. I use Clarity Voice because it's the best. At OxyFresh, they use Clarity Voice. We use Clarity Voice at Elephant in the Room. TipTopK9 uses Clarity Voice. It's the best system. It's the best system. Now, here's the deal. I'm so passionate about the system that I've been telling hundreds of people, thousands of people to use Clarity Voice. And then they reached out to me, boop, 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 and they said, hey, we would like for you to be like a sponsor guy, like an endorser guy. Since you refer us all the time, why don't you become like a sponsor guy? So here's how it works. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com/clarity, thrivetimeshow.com/clarity, go slower, I'm using an Etch-a-Sketch. thrivetimeshow.com/clarity, CLARITY. They're going to give you all sorts of free stuff, all sorts of discounts. They can track it, and then I might make some extra money so I can go buy some more Yeezys. All right, so thrivetimeshow.com/clarity. Now let's go ahead and queue up some no good, terrible, very bad, rotten phone calls so you can hear what happens when you don't record your calls.
Thank you for calling Elephant in the Room. This is how may I help you?
Sorry to bother you again. Which room is it in? Or which building?
Oh, I hate listening.
There's like a bunch of stores over here.
There should be an elephant sticker on the window of the office building. Without really looking at it or being able to see what you're looking at, it's kind of hard to tell.
What?
Well, I'm by the stumbling monkey.
Wait for it. Pause. Awkward.
What'd you say?
The stumbling monkey.
Sorry, I'm not able to do my job.
Give me 1 second, man.
So awkward. Now, see, that you could see if you were a customer why you would be frustrated if the person you're calling doesn't even know where you're located. And Daisy, what other kinds of abominations would that particular individual do over and over before we finally had to let him go?
Oh my goodness. So he went in and edited the schedule and did not show up for a shift on Saturday told me, oh, I must have gotten the wrong schedule. And I looked back and I was like, I know I don't.
And because we have keystroke recorders and because Google tracks, we were able to see he did what?
He changed his own schedule and tried to make me think he was only scheduled from 12 to 5, which I've never scheduled anyone ever to do.
Right. Tim, is this shocking to you? You worked at Reese's, a great place. Is it shocking to you that an employee would lie about his hours? Come on, man.
I would never even consider doing something myself.
Did you ever work with somebody who did fabricate their hours or did do something shady at work? Ever? You work with a bunch of angels?
Yeah, nothing back like that ever happened back in my department, but you hear about stuff like that all the time for sure.
Now, again, is it shocking to you, Daisy, that the call, that at no point did he bring energy? At no point did he really help the guy? Is it shocking to you?
It's painful. It's very, very painful.
Yeah, and I could go sit there and play calls all day, except everyone would be laughing at my expense. It's not cool when you take a customer into the sauna of awkwardness with you where you're like, people, they freak out when there's that silence.
Yeah.
It's just that
they
weird.
Can't handle it.
They can't. They don't want to go in the sauna with you. All they want to know is where you're located. They don't want to have you just breathing on the phone line. So again, if you're out there today and you're not recording your calls, there's a if you don't know what to do, that's like, okay, I didn't know what to do. I'm getting educated. Thank you. That's fine. But if you know what to do and you choose not to do, and I don't care whether you use Clarity Voice. I mean, you should because they're good, but you could use 8x8. That's a great company. Clarity of Voice is a great company. 8x8. It's 8x. Let me pull it up here. It's 8x8.com. That's a great company. Okay. Clarity Voice is a great company. But if you know what to do, if you're somebody who understands what to do and you're going, I know what to do. I don't really want to do it. I know what to do. I know to record my calls. I don't want to do it. I'm trying to think of a word that would come to mind. I would think it would be foolish. And then I kind of think of what word means foolish, or a person affected by extreme, the inability to comprehend cause and effect. The kind of person who doesn't know what you're talking about. That person would be defined as an idiot. Now, I'm not saying you, the listener, are an idiot if you don't record your calls. I'm saying that people who don't record their calls are idiots. Not you, other people. So again, if you care about your business at all, Daisy, how often do we catch abominations, crimes against humanity, and jackassery on the phones at the elephant in the room or any of the other clients we work with?
It's literally every single day.
Every single day. List off for me some of the crazy things that you have caught customers saying or our team saying over the years that have caused us to either fire a customer or fire an employee or to make some drastic changes.
They'll make inappropriate remarks. So I had somebody that tried to buy time with one of my employees.
Whoa.
Was trying to bet that he knew what her age was, and if he guessed her age, he would have to give her a gift card, and she would have to be the one to check him out for his haircut at the evening. And then he made this comment that he would prefer for her to call him names.
Wow. Do you mind if we dance with your dates?
What other weird things have you heard customers saying on the phone lines over the years? Just weird stuff where you thought, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know that life worked this way.
Yeah, they've asked for massages.
Whoa, see, this is what I'm talking. I don't even want to talk about it. Have you ever heard a recorded call where you thought to yourself, I don't even want to talk. You feel shame just by hearing the recorded call.
Yeah, I need a therapy session afterwards. Some of them get pretty weird.
I hear an abomination on the phone lines of either my clients or one of my businesses every single day. And let me tell you what, customers can vote with their dollars, okay? Customers can vote with their dollars. If they're not happy with the service, they can go somewhere else, all right? But also as a business owner, if I'm not happy with the client who's being sexually inappropriate to one of our female stylists, I can punt them too. So again, principles I want you to understand today. You have to record your calls or your business will fall off a cliff called mediocrity. You've got to record your calls or your business will fall off a cliff called mediocrity. Now, what's the company I recommend? I recommend Clarity Voice. How do you get a good deal? Go to thrivetimeshow.com/clarity, thrivetimeshow.com thrive.com/clarity. Tim, you work in the call center. What's your final justification and reason why you think all the business owners out there should record their calls?
Yeah, if you want to make sure you actually have a good call and don't sound like you're having a panic attack while you're talking to a customer, it'd probably be a good idea to record your calls.
Daisy, what's your final encouragement as a call center manager? How impossible would your job be without recording calls? What's your final tip for the listeners out there as to why they should record their calls?
Well, I just look at Tim. He's like my personal testimony. We literally called him the nervous bomb diffuser for the first 6 months he worked with me. And it's like he went from nervous bomb diffuser to Brad Pitt overnight.
And I used to be the fast-talking, confused guy at my first job. And then they played my calls, and they're like, wow, you talk fast, and wow, you're confused. And so we all have some sort of dysfunction that we can't fix, right?
Absolutely.
If we can't hear the calls.
Absolutely.
So if you're out there today, again, go to thrivetimeshow.com/clarity. And without any further ado, we like to end each and every show with a boom. So, Tim, are you ready to bring the boom?
Oh, yeah.
You better,
Daisy, are you
Tim.
prepared to bring the boom?
I'm so ready.
3, 2, 1.
Boom.